Okay, cool. Sorry for the noise. My kids are running upstairs. So they've been running for a while. I don't know what they're doing. So let's take a look at my submissions. Actually, my talks. That would be better. There we go. So this is basically what the workshop that I'm going to give. This is what I submitted to Mid-Atlantic Developer Conference, and this is what we're going to do today. So I just figured I'd throw this up here so that we all know right off the bat what's going on. So we are going to use headless WordPress with GraphQL. We're not really going to do that much with WordPress. Like, we're just going to install a plugin, only if I have to. I might already have it set up. I'm not sure if my test setup is still active. Using cloud technologies to host MySQL and all our media files for WordPress. Okay, so we're going to use... Are we going to use now to serve our React app in WordPress? Okay. We probably won't actually serve this app, but we could kind of go over that. Custom routing, Register Express. Okay, we're going to use Next.js. Awesome. Okay, great. So let's start there. First things first, let's get Next.js. And bootstrap our app with that. Okay. And from there, we'll get GraphQL and start pulling in some data. So let's go to the next homepage. If you haven't watched any of my live streams before, I don't rehearse these beforehand. So like I've done projects like this before, but it's gonna be like trial and error to some extent. Things will break and not work. Well, this is nice. They changed the website since the last time I've been here. Okay, cool. So let's view the docs. Alright, so we need to install this. npm install, save, next, react on. I don't think I have Next installed. After that, the file system is the main API. Read.js file becomes a route. I thought we could do... I thought we could do like a build with Next.js, like it had like a boilerplate thing. Maybe they've changed it since the last time. I'll double check in GitHub though, just to be sure. So make sure to package JSON. That file system is the main API. Okay, cool. So potentially we could build out. Just run npm run dev. Am I missing something here? Like. React. So we have Next, React, and React DOM, and then we add this. Next.js npm run dev. Server rendering. Giving you create a static directory inside your project. That's all right. Hopefully. If anybody's used Next.js like recently, let me know if stuff changed, because I haven't used it in maybe like 9 months or so, and I definitely haven't started a project with it since before that. So I'm like wondering what. All right, let's go to recipes. This is building with React, Material, Next.js. GraphQL, yes. Example Apollo. We'll probably need that example, so I'm gonna bring that up. Is this like create React app? Yes or no? Okay. Alright, let's check this example out. Execute, create next app. Oh, sweet. This is going to make things so much easier. Let's do that. Yeah, I want to check that out. We can use create next app and use the Apollo example to get a jump start and like have Apollo in here already running. Let's double check how long ago this was. It's a little bit old. I'm kind of hesitant to use that since it's so old. Check out the package JSON real quick. Okay, so it looks like this entire project is archived. So kind of not I'm hesitant to use that then. That would have been cool if it worked, but guess not. Alright, and we're back to here. Let's look this up. I didn't expect to not be able to even get started like this. Alright. To start. Getting started with Next.js. Alright, that's from 2019. So that looks good. 2019. Installing now. I'm not worried about now yet. Alright, so we're just gonna make a directory and cd into it and yarn and net. Wow, this is like pretty bare bones. That's why. Let's check this one out too. Alright, let's just do it then. Okay, so let's install. Well, let's open up a terminal first. I thought I had. Did I not install command prompt? Huh. I guess I don't have it installed on this machine. We could just open VS Code straight away, and this is an older project, but we're already in a let's see where we're at. I think we have a projects folder somewhere. Yeah, let's go into our projects folder and let's make a new project. So we're gonna let me make this bigger. This is probably way too small for you to see. Alright, hopefully that's better. So we're gonna make directory and call this React Workshop, and let's cd into React Workshop. Now let's do React getting started. I want to close out. Yeah. Alright, so let's copy and paste this. Sorry, I normally work on a Mac, so like switching between screens it just feels weird right now. Okay. Do npm install React, React DOM, and Next. While this is happening, I'll check out the live chat. I know there's a lot going on over there. And let's see. Oh, Divya says, I just got fired 2 weeks back. So I'm mostly relaxing because I've given like 70 interviews in the past 10 months. An Indian crowd, so naive and horrible to judge. Yes, is it normal? How can being a junior dev, I have even worked whole nights, so how to I'm not exactly sure what you're saying. Let's see. Okay, so Divya's saying, so instead of just keeping practicing for interviews, I guess it generates more value to build something on my own. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's nothing wrong with practicing for interviews, but building something on your own will still keep your skills, kind of fresh. So, that's definitely a good thing to do. All right, let's check out what we got here in our output. Thank you for using Core.js. Looks like everything installed. All right. We did get some warnings. No errors, just warnings, so that's cool. We got it. And it looks like we have React installed, React DOM, and Next. Awesome. And I'm going to do... Alright, so I'm just opening a new window in VS Code, right? So it's going to be easier if we have like our project, the only project in here. So we can open up a new terminal in here as well. I usually run with 2 terminals, that way I can run the project in one and then run commands in the other. Alright, let's check out what we have. So far we only have node modules and our package lock.json, which normally like you never do anything directly to your package JSON, so it should be good. Alright, back to our documentation, which let's make that a lot bigger. Alright, let's go and update the package JSON. Actually, why do I not have a package JSON when I have a package lock JSON? That is weird. JSON with the run. Let's go and update package JSON with the run script. Oh, I guess I never. We never did this step. npm init. Okay. Skip this step. This is why I wanted to do this run through before I gave this workshop. Let's do that now. Alright, package JSON. Cool. And we already have our stuff there. So I guess it doesn't really matter what order you do that in. So now we need to update it with this stuff. And really, we could probably go back to the official instructions now that we had up. So like, these are probably the most up to date. So it's probably better to use this. Okay, so we're gonna add in scripts, and I like to have them kind of at the top, because usually, whoops, let's get rid of these. We don't need that. I like to have the scripts at the top, right? Because a lot of times, like I know when I'm looking into, did we already have scripts somewhere else? Oh yeah, we did. Okay, we don't need that one. A lot of times when I'm looking in a package JSON, I'm usually trying to figure out what I named the script so that I know what to run, right? I mean, occasionally I'm trying to look at what packages I have and what versions, but a lot of times I just need to know what script, so it's just easier if it's up at the top. Alright, cool. So we need an index.js, and let's see what we can. Hey buddy, I'm doing a live stream right now, okay?
I don't know where Mom is.
Alright, can you shut the door and go upstairs, please? That was Ambrose, my 5-year-old, telling me that my 2-year-old was coloring on him. Alright. Hey baby. I'm on YouTube right now, okay? You want to be on YouTube? Alright. Here. Everybody see you on YouTube? Say hi. Alright. You want to build a website? Yeah? You want to build a website?
Okay. That was an eyeball.
He thought it was an eyeball? He thought this is my webcam.
He thought it was an eyeball.
Yeah, it's kind of like an eyeball. It's looking at us. See, it's looking at us, and we show up over here. You see right there?
You both said it was like an eyeball.
Like an eyeball. I don't know, but I'm on YouTube right now, so. Did you turn on my Spotify? How did you do that?
I just pressed those buttons.
Alright, let's close it. Okay. So we're trying to build a website, Cordelia. Alright. We need a pages file. Or a pages folder. So let's get to it. So we need pages and index.
Hello.
You know what? Let me. I'm gonna pull this over to another screen. Oops. Sorry, I was thinking I was in Mac mode.
What do I hear?
No, you know, baby, that's iced coffee. Okay, you don't want that.
Iced coffee. Iced coffee.
That way, I don't have to keep going back and forth. All right, so we need to make a new directory called pages. So we're gonna make directory pages, and then we need to make an index.js file inside of pages, and that's going to be like our home page, right? So let's do, we can use the command touch to make a file, and we'll say pages to get into the pages directory, and then index.js. Okay. Now over here we can see in the files we have a pages file, pages directory, and we have the index file. Cool. So now we have blank file here, and according to the documentation we can put this in. Okay. And let's make sure you save that. Failed to load. Library. That's okay. And it says from here that we should be able to do npm run dev, which to me it's like kind of unbelievable that we would just need this to do npm run dev, but I'm gonna try. Yeah. Let's see what we have. Did I not save this file? Maybe that's the problem. There we go. No way. Is this really gonna run? Wow. Alright, let's check out localhost then and see what's going on. Wow. Okay, it did work. It says welcome to Next.js way up at the top. That's honestly insane. I did not expect it to be that simple. That's why I kept looking for more documentation, because I thought there's no way this is it. Cool. All right, so we have that, which is awesome. So we have our first file, our welcome to Next.js. Cool. So at this point, we could do whatever we wanted in this file, right? We could make this look however we want. Now, the type of application that I'm planning on building for the workshop is just going to be very simple, like probably just like a blog site, right? That's pretty simple. Of course, you can make any kind of site that you want, but let's see. Sorry, I was just checking out. There's a bunch of stuff in the chat, so it's just catching up a little bit. So at this point, we should have, according to the Next.js documentation, we should have automatic transpilation and bundling with Webpack and Babel, which we have, right? Obviously, because that worked. Okay, hot code reloading, which I'm assuming that we have. So let's take out something and save, verify that that's working. Yep, welcome. Yeah, so we do have hot code reloading. We should have server rendering and indexing of pages, so it should be like server side rendered, right? Which I'm not going to test that. I'm just going to take their word for it. Sorry. And static file serving. The static directory is mapped to /static. So we're not going to do the static directory right now, but if we wanted to have a directory where we put our images in and stuff like that, then we could put it in a static directory and have access to that. We can also get automatic code splitting, right? So every import gets bundled with and served with each page. So that's pretty sweet. and we have CSS support. Okay, so there is this style.jsx. All right, it's starting to come back to me now how things are done in Next.js with styles and stuff. So let's see, dynamic routing. Do we have dynamic routing built in now? Interesting. Okay, cool. So Next.js comes with routing built in, so we don't need to pull in something like React Router, which is nice. We could do some custom routing, like make our own server.js file, like later on if we need to, but at this point we don't need to. Right, so we could definitely. I'd like to see if this works. It should work. We could definitely make this page and change this up and just say test, and we should be able to go to localhost 3000/test. There we go. And our test page is test.js. So that's what I mean, like when I say it has the routing built in, like all we have to do is make a file inside this pages directory, and that file then, the file name then becomes the route, and we have access to that. So that's the routing all built in. It should, yeah, so like back and forward button works. So we're good. And if we want to fetch data, okay, so this has changed since the last time. There used to be a lifecycle method that was what was it called? Something about like getting props or whatever, but now we can, it looks like they actually have a hook, so we'll be able to use hooks with this, so that's pretty sweet. So we can use get initial props to pull in data. Now since we haven't set up any of the data yet, we're not going to use it right now, but that's going to be part of how we bring in stuff. I'm just scrolling through a little bit more of the documentation just to make sure there's no like huge changes that I need to be aware of before we get started. Okay, because it does look like Next.js has changed quite a bit. Okay, cool. Now let's pull in GraphQL. So I like to use Apollo, and I'll do this up on the screen so y'all can see. So Apollo GraphQL. So let's check this out. So GraphQL is not, it's like a way of doing an API, right? So Apollo isn't the only way to do GraphQL, but it's probably the most popular way to do stuff with GraphQL. So Apollo client is what we'll be using. So that's gonna allow us to consume data from GraphQL API in our React app. But you can also, like, you need an Apollo like server, right, to actually serve up that data. Let's see. So let's get into this and say, there we go, docs. We'll get into the documentation, and let's see. I don't want to build the schema. Resources, platform. Yeah, we don't want to build a GraphQL API right now. We want to use the client. Probably want to check out GitHub. There should be a link. Why is there no link to the GitHub page? Client. There we go. Can't believe we didn't say that. So we wanted to use their React client. Okay. So you can see this is not just a React thing. You can use this for a variety of things. So Angular, Vue, your native mobile devices. Okay, so let's get to getting started. Alright. I don't need to be convinced, I just want to use it. So let's go. Integrations, React, fucked. It works out of the box with both Create React App and React Native. Wonderful. Okay. Get started. That's what I want. I should have just checked that from the beginning. Alright, so we're going to npm install Apollo Boost, React Apollo, and GraphQL. Let's go back to our project, and in our terminal, we're just going to paste that in. And Michael Creel says, are you going to add links to the description for this video because I'm lost on Next.js and the start was a little choppy? Yeah, that's a great idea to add in links and stuff. So I will need to do that. The plan is I'm gonna rewatch this after I'm done and take some notes about like what went wrong, what I need to watch out for when I present this at the conference. So when I do that, I'll probably compile, all the links, and then I can throw that in the description. And I need to do that soon because I'm giving this workshop like in less than a week. All right, so we have this installed, which is wonderful. Let's go back over to here and say, let's check out our documentation. We're going to create a client. You have all dependencies you need. Let's create your Apollo client. I mean, we really need somewhere to go. To get data. So let's do that. Let's do that right now, actually. Let's grab some data. I'm trying to think where I would have a GraphQL thing set up already. Let's check this out. Alright, this might save us a bunch of time. So we're going to go to WP GraphQL. This is a plugin that turns a normal WordPress MySQL database into a GraphQL server. So it's pretty awesome. All you got to do is install this, and it does everything. I've used this before on a lot of projects, but what it used to have, and what I hope it still has, is a demo. Which website? Let's see if it's in the website. I believe it had a demo, and we might be able to grab the grab some data from the endpoint that they're using. It looks like this has grown a lot. I'm happy about that.
You can save it. We need to go soon.
Actually, let's just check this out. GraphQL collective list of public GraphQL APIs. Nice. All right, let's just use one of these. Let's find something fun. All right. A lot of, wow, these look serious. These look serious. Countries. Ethiopian movie database. That's interesting. Wow, there's a GraphQL API to search GraphQL jobs. That's pretty sweet. Let's see. Microsoft Graph. Wow, Yelp has one. Sweet. Unofficial proxies. Demonstration only. Alright, I think maybe let's try the countries one. Let's see what our schema looks like. Alright, so we can get some cool data about countries. Awesome. So we can grab this GraphQL endpoint here, and then we should be able to use this instead of making our own right now. We're gonna make our own at some point, but I don't really want to take a detour to do that right now. Oh, Michael Prio says there's a GitHub GraphQL API. Alright, we could use that too. I wish I would have looked over. Hey, what's up? Abby Shakes here. How's it going? Yeah, we might use that if this one ends up not being so great or doesn't work. Alright, so let's set this up first. Well, I should have copied this stuff first. Oh well. Where are we going to import that? In our index.js file, let's import Apollo client. Let's do it. And I might end up moving this over to another screen. Because it's just embarrassing how slow I am at switching these windows. Alright, cool. So importing Apollo client from Apollo Boost, and we need to add that other URL that I just copied. Bonu says there's a Poke API. Is that a GraphQL API as well? We might be able to get Pokemon. I don't want to get sued for copyright infringement though, so we gotta watch out. I don't know how whoever makes Pokemon feels about that. There we go. Cool. So now we have our countries GraphQL API, and we should be able to go to the next step here. If I can figure that out here. Start fetching data. Alright, so it says we can try to get data and just console log it, which that's awesome. That's a great test. Let's do that test just to make sure that we can get it working. So we've already defined client up here, and that's our new Apollo client, right? So inside the client, we can do client.query, and then inside that we have our GraphQL query. This is what GraphQL queries look like, right? We're getting our rates. Now this is where we need to customize, right? Because we're not using the same API that the documentation is using. So we need to check out our API documentation to figure out how to get, to this point, right? So I guess we can, let's see, let's go back here and then go to our GraphQL playground. And let's see how to do this. I guess I want country. Let's see. Let's see if we can query. Michael Creel says, no offense, Jesse, but you used to be able to do stuff in your sleep. I know, I'm so out of practice. And I haven't been working with it. I've been working with REST APIs and React Native, so this is kind of getting back into what I was doing before. Oh, sorry. Query countries. See, I'm so out of it when it comes to GraphQL. I don't even remember the syntax. I'm gonna have to check back over here. Oops. Yeah, forget that. Let's get rid of these for now. Get rid of that for now. There we go. All right. There we go. There's the syntax. Query. And rates, currency. Okay. I believe I need to get that out of here. Countries. Let's double check. I should get some type of like. It's a good sign that you're doing it wrong if you don't get the autofill happening. Alright. Oh, you know what? Let me make this bigger. Just occurred to me that you all probably can't see any of this. Alright. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to do a query here. I just want to get back, right, something, right? These are countries. Okay, so this tells us like what we have like access to, right? So, and what the data types are. They have emoji representing each one. That's cool. Anyway, so we should be able to get. Okay, Michael Creel says, okay, what are we trying to do here? My one decent talent is building a query. I just want to give out a query to get back anything at this point. I just haven't built a GraphQL query in months, so I'm like not at all actually, do I still have my GraphQL? Where's it at? GraphQL. There we go. Let's see if we can set, whoops. This is what I'm used to using, and which is awesome because it like gives me an example query. So, oh no, we're getting an error here. Errors. We may have to switch to the GraphQL one. Alright, but I guess we'll go back here then and try this. Oops. Get rid of this. There we go. Countries and name. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Let's get rid of this and do our query. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So there's the query. There's the syntax. This is a simple query. There's a lot more you could do, but this is fine for now. and we just want to use this, basically this exact thing. We want to pull it into our project, see if we can get it to console log. Right, so anything inside these backticks, which these are, it's like template literal syntax. Anything inside there is going to be just a straight GraphQL query, right? So this will be the same thing that you would type into, you know, our GraphQL playground that we were just in. So let's save that. And now when we go to this page, which we did this in test.js, so when we go to test.js, whoa, look at that. Fetch is not found globally, and no fetch or pass to fix pass. What the heck? Why do we not have fetch? Alright, I need to make this smaller for a second because I can't read it. Interesting. Maybe we have something going on because Next.js is trying to do server-side rendering. So I think that's probably what's going on, because it's suggesting that we use node fetch, which we shouldn't need node fetch client-side, right? Fetch is a browser API. So what I'm thinking is happening is that Next.js by default is trying to server-side render this stuff. So to fix pass a fetch for your environment. Alright, I guess we'll copy and paste this in and see if we can connect that up. Which there's probably some, most likely, documentation out there right now for how to do this with Next.js. Next.js and Apollo are both super popular, so I'm sure we can get some documentation on there. But let's see, link is declared but its value is never read. So this is what I'm not sure about, like where do we pass this in now? Link URI, like perhaps this is, perhaps we put this here and then we pass in link. That seems to me like that's what this is supposed to do. Let's try it out. Looks like that didn't work. Let's see what errors we get. If we get new errors, that's progress. And I don't think we did. Nope. No new errors. Same error. Alright, so now let's check out. So I've definitely used Next.js and Apollo before, but I'm afraid that the repos that I am using it in that worked are too outdated. So this is that example, and the example itself was kind of outdated. So that's what's Next.js for Apollo. So I'm a little bit hesitant to use that, but we'll see. Usually when I search for stuff, I like to set it to only look at stuff for the past year at most, because then I can be at least somewhat sure that it's like current data. Hello client, SR configuration with Next.js. That looks like exactly what's happening here. Alright, so let's check that one out, because that looks pretty close. GraphQL docs, React features, server-side rendering. Alright, that looks like some normal GraphQL stuff. So, oh, actually, you know what? We're not really even trying to do this like the React GraphQL way. We're trying to do this just to console log it. So that might even further complicate things for now. I want a date. I want to know how old this is. Alright. 2 months ago. Alright, so some of this stuff was updated 2 months ago. Next Apollo example. So that's somewhat recent. I guess we could check the demo, and if the demo works, we could be a little more confident. Alright, it seems like it's working. Alright, so let's check our package JSON, make sure they're using okay, so they were using isomorphic fetch, which I figured we'd need to use. Next Apollo. Oh, there is a Next Apollo package. Cool. Let me shut the door so it'll be slightly less noisy. Okay. Sorry about that. The door. I'm in the basement now. That's where my setup is, and the door to the upstairs was open. The kids left it open. So. I am sorry about that. I was just sending a message to my wife. Okay. I'm interested in this Next Apollo package. I want to know what that is. React higher order component for integrating Apollo client with Next.js. Okay, there's also a with Apollo example, so we will definitely look at that, but for now, this actually looks good. Basically what it's saying is, instead of using Apollo like globally throughout the entire project, you could just choose to use Apollo on like one component, one page, right? So that sounds cool. That makes sense. Next Apollo, GraphQL, React Apollo. Okay. Create an Apollo configuration object. Pass configuration object to the with data higher order component and export the returned component. Okay. Alright, that's kind of cool. This is definitely an option. We can also look at this. Alright, this is official, like from Next.js. So this is kind of like, I suppose, the preferable way to do it, since it's more likely to be, I guess, supported, and it's somewhat up to date. Is this the one we looked at before that said use create next app, and then we went here and it says it's been archived? Yeah, that's. Now this makes me wonder, maybe this isn't the way to go. If you check out the package JSON though, pull up boost, GraphQL, React on. The only thing that they really have in here that's different is isomorphic unfetch, which is gonna allow fetch to run. So isomorphic meaning it can run on the server side and client side. You can see Cordelia, hey baby, what's the matter? The 2-year-old's very upset because she wants milk. Evidently, no one's giving her milk. Cordelia, come here, baby. What's wrong? No one is giving you milk?
No.
Oh no. It's okay. It's okay. Look, what about your brother? What about Raphael? Can he get you milk?
No.
He won't get it for you? No one wants to get milk for you?
No.
No?
No.
Did your sister get you milk?
No.
She won't. Did you ask her? Well, why don't you ask her? Tell her I said I want her to get you milk. And make sure you say please. Can you shut the door too, please? Well, you gotta. Where's your sister at? Okay. Michael Christmas. I miss those days. Actually, I didn't those days because neither of us were normal kids. Yeah, it's cute. It's busy. I have 4 kids, so it's busy, but they're definitely cute. Okay, this one's using a higher order components. Let's say we're wrapping Apollo provider. Okay. And then in our I want to see where they're actually using it. I guess they were using it in the components. Oops. With Apollo components.
Just we gotta go.
I sent you a message.
15 minutes ago.
I sent you a message. Post list. This looks like. There we go. This is where they're actually using GraphQL. Okay, so they're using the query, and they are passing that into the query component. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what we want. If we can get this working, then I guess this will be good. Unfortunately, though, what I think is going to happen is that this documentation isn't really going to be. It's not going to apply as much to what we're doing. I mean, we could try to go through what we need to connect this. Let's see if we have a recipe for it. Yeah, buddy.
Why aren't you coming?
I'm doing this video.
Okay.
I gotta get ready because I'm gonna do a workshop at a conference at the end of the week.
Okay.
All right. See you later, buddy.
I shut the door so you can't hear the door.
Okay. All right. So let's go. Trying to bring the. All right. GraphQL and Next.js and Apollo. Alright, so here's another example of the app. We could probably go back to that. Yeah. I'll leave that up if we need help. Let's get rid of this. And next example. We'll leave that up. We'll put it over here by this. And let's see. Don Xavier saying, didn't you make a similar thing in a previous job? Yeah, I did. So basically trying to recreate like the same thing, but now Next.js has kind of gone forward, and so has Apollo Client. So just trying to figure out like what's changed essentially, like what we need to do now differently. Okay. I'm almost positive though that we're going to need the isomorphic fetch, which actually, now that I think about it, I kind of wonder, like, so we got this error, right? And we're trying to pass node fetch, but really, do we even have node fetch? Like, do I have that package installed at all? I don't think I do. So maybe maybe this might have worked if I actually had the node fetch package installed, right? Right, let's double check. I do not have node fetch. I mean, I can double check if I really have it or not. And no. Well, I mean, I definitely don't have it like at the top level of my node modules. So let's go npm install node fetch. Alright, so we should have that now. We have node fetch, so maybe this will be different. Looks like not though. Looks like we're getting the same error. So it's possible I'm doing this wrong, since I, basically just guessed it how to do this. Maybe I wonder if we can pass that in. Fetch is not found globally, no fetchers passed. Alright. Same thing. Same thing, just different font. Awesome. Alright. Okay, Don Xavier is saying, Michael's saying this is where you need hard shit. Also said restart the server, or when we have an idea to replace node fetch with isomorphic fetch. You know what? I was thinking we probably should use isomorphic fetch, since that's what the Next.js documentation seemed to be using. Restarting the server is the easiest thing to try, so let's do that first. When I'm troubleshooting, I always like to do the thing that's the easiest and the fastest first. So it won't take that much time to test whether or not it works. And there we go. Yep, not working. Okay, so whatever we were doing here was not working. I say we get rid of this. Let's get rid of all of this, because that was just a test to see if we can get data from the API anyway, right? What we ultimately want to do is have this all working with React, right? So, like, essentially we've been spending time trying to debug something that was just a test anyway. So let's just go for what we actually want to do and then debug that. Let's make sure this is really working now. Yep, hey, we have our test page. Great. Alright, so at this point we could, let's see, we could go with this example, which we would be using isomorphic fetch instead. Let's see, React Common, React Apollo, React Hooks, emotion conversion. Alright, so this does have a lot of other stuff in here. Oh no, this isn't the example. I think this was the example. Yeah, the with Apollo example. Oh, and this is where we got that demo from earlier that okay. Alright. We could always just run this, really. I mean, I know this was, it says like it's not even around anymore. This will be our backup plan, right? If we can't get this to work, then we'll go for this. The only reason I don't want to use it is because it's like literally the repo for this has nothing in it anymore. I mean, I guess we could just create next app. Was that what it was called? Create next app. Yep. Alright, well, this is the blog. Create next app. Nope. That's to the repo. So it's been moved into the Next.js project, but alright, I guess we could search within this project. There we go. Create next app. Alright, so this looks like it is really being maintained. So this might be legit. There we go. Project was bootstrapped with create next app. Find the most recent version of the guide here. Uh-oh. Page not found. This is so weird. This is really weird. We have updates from 8 days ago, but there are links on the main page here that are broken. Components, node on fact check some pages. I'm so glad I decided to do this live stream. Not sure how informative or entertaining this is for you all, but it's definitely going to be great preparation for my workshop. Templates, and it only has the default one right now. Huh. Oops. This is kind of weird. It like seems like they're keeping it up to date, but there's like links to documentation are not working. I'm gonna check that again. Page not found. Yeah. So it was supposed to be in Next.js, blob, master lib, templates, default, readme.md. Templates default, readme.md. So it's supposed, essentially, like this was supposed to link here to this document, right? All right, let's give this a shot then. Let's give it a shot. All right, so I'm gonna go out. We're in the projects folder, and let's see if this works. Let's see. Michael Creel says, I'm fairly sure you need to take a break. Even when you get it to run, you're going to need to explain it to other people. Michael Creel says, you're going around in circles. Yeah, I feel like I'm going around in circles for sure. Okay, that looks like that worked. Let's CD into with Apollo app, and I'm gonna do. All right, so I guess this one used Yarn by default. Yarn dev. Let's close this one. Let's open up a new window for this. Let's check it out. Okay, not bad. I wanted to try not to use Yarn because I didn't want to have people like have to learn one more thing if they weren't familiar with Yarn, but looks like this project already had Yarn installed by default. I do usually use Yarn anyway, so it's not a big deal. Alright, now let's check this out on localhost. All right. Well, okay. So this looks like that example that we already clicked on before. I'm not really sure what about. Okay. Allows you to easily query the exact data you need from GraphQL server. That's cool. That's what we need. Nice. Wrapping a page set. On initial page load, while on the server and inside get initial props, we invoke the Apollo method get data from tree. This method returns a promise. At the point at which the promise resolves, our Apollo client store is completely initialized. Cool for its GraphQL backend. So is this where we're getting data from? Self-hosted GraphQL backend as a service. Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's kind of cool. I'm not going to use it right now, but this seems like a very cool product. All right. So we have this working. Let's mess with it and see what we can do. So let's grab our... Oh, I forgot I pulled out all that other stuff. All right, let's get rid of this for now. And now let's grab our other stuff. Let's see how they're doing this. Next components. Here's our app.js component. And we can see... So it's wrapped now with the Apollo provider. And there's where it's getting that with Apollo client. And probably need... I'm just trying to figure out where we need to put in... There we go. There's where we need to put in our URI. So this is where we switch up like where we're gonna get our data from. So let's switch that up. It's gonna break it as soon as we do this. Cool. Oh. Hey, look, this is how we were supposed to use that link, right? We were trying to pass link as the URI, but in reality, link was just another, like, it should have just been part of the object, like at the top level. I wonder if we actually could have got that to work. I'm not gonna mess with it right now, but realistically, it looks like everything we had before in the first repo that we were messing with was fine. I just needed to put link here instead of where I put it. That's cool. It's good to know. Alright, so let me grab that URL then that we were using before. And let's throw that in there, and then we're gonna have to figure out where the query is and then change the query, right? Because as soon as I save this, it should break. Let's verify the brokenness. Yeah, okay, cool. See, so our query is not working, and post list is where our query is. Where is it at? Alright, so here's the query. Definitely don't want to keep the query like that. Let's grab the query that Michael Creel made, and then we'll adapt to get this data back displayed on the screen. That'll at least like prove out that, like, hey, we can get data and display it, and then we'll be done with that step. Okay. GraphQL. So now we should get back countries and name. Let's see. It's probably going to throw some errors because we're expecting certain things here. Yeah, we're expecting things which we don't have. Yeah, so let's start pulling stuff out of here. We do not need this. Whoa. Don't need that. And I'm going to leave the styles in here for now because that shouldn't throw errors if we're trying to style things that don't exist. Let's get rid of this button. I only need this button. And we can keep this list. That's pretty handy. So we're mapping over all the posts, which are wonderful. That's nice. But really, we don't really have posts. We have countries. So we got our data and we have countries, and then we have an array of objects that just has name. So that's what we want to map over. So all posts. Let's get rid of that because we're not using that. All posts. Post meta. Looks like we're not using this anymore or that anymore. So we're gonna have to get rid of some of this stuff. There we go. All post query. So the all post query variables. Yeah, we don't need that. And we don't have any variables in here. All posts. Alright, so the data we're getting back then is just all posts. So I think what we'll need to do though is all posts dot countries. Potentially. Let's see how we got that back. Double check the shape of that one more time. Yeah, so we're given back an object. Oh wow. Are we giving back an object that's called data and then countries? Maybe we'll have to do that then, because yeah, I mean that looks like what we are getting. So we may have to say data dot countries dot map, and then all we're going to be able to get, like we don't have an ID or anything, we're just going to have post dot name. Let's get rid of this upvoter. Let's get rid of that href. We don't need that. Our span, let's say, is just going to be, let's say, post dot name. Post is really indicating a country here. I'm just not changing it. And let's just say name here, since that's all we have for our key. And I believe we can get rid of, what did I just delete? I just deleted something that we don't need anymore. Ah, here we go. Post upvoter. Alright, let's see what that does. Components submit.js. Alright, so did we delete? Attempted importer. All post query variables is not exported from post list. Alright, so it looks like we need to delete these elsewhere. Submit.js. All post query varies. Let's get rid of that. And then let's get rid of it. All posts query. There we go. want this. I don't want these. I don't want these. There we go. Query, best query first. All right, let's see what else breaks now. Nothing. Nice. Let's see if anything displays. Cannot read property data of undefined. Okay, so that's obviously not allpros.data. So we're getting undefined back from that. Okay. So I wonder what we are getting back. Let's see. Hey, Niki's here. Hey, how's it going? It's been a while. Okay. Let's see where we were at. Post list. So it looks like we got our query right. But we're not getting back. I'm not getting back anything. Unless, you know what I bet? I bet all data, all posts. Let's see if this works. Countries. All right, so I think I didn't look at that quite right the first time. Let's see if this is better. Yay, that worked. All right, I'll explain why that worked in a second. I didn't want to explain it first and have it not work. Sweet. Here's all our countries. Awesome. Okay, so here's why that worked. So what I just passed over, didn't even look at it first, was the fact that like we're getting our data back. So we make our query here, and then inside of there we get back loading, error, or data, right? So our data we get back is like this top level. Let me switch back here. So data is this top level that we get back, right? Now, what we're doing is saying within data, like I want to pull out countries, right? And that's going to get passed in to this next function, this arrow function here. So anywhere inside this function, we're going to have access to countries, and countries then is an array of objects. So that's what we wanted to map over. So it didn't work at first because essentially I was trying to say I wanted countries.data.countries and map over that, which of course is ridiculous because it doesn't exist. Okay, so that's pretty sweet. That makes a lot more sense, and that works. So basically now we do have the ability to connect to a GraphQL API, get data, display it on a page. Sorry, I'm showing him. Harshit's here. Hey Harshit, what's up? We just been kind of like stumbling through this for a while, for a long time. So it's been like an hour and a half, actually more, because the first part of the stream we had technical difficulties. All right, so next step, at least like the next step in my workshop, would be actually pulling in data from WordPress GraphQL setup. So we can do that, and yeah, let's do that. May as well do it. So I actually just skipped a birthday party to keep doing this stream, so my whole family left, so I could probably just stream for the rest of the day. Not sure if anybody will want to watch it, but I could do it, so I may as well keep going, and actually do this. Oh, you know what? I could have just used the. Let's switch this back to. Let's switch that to index instead of. What am I doing? I don't need to switch that to anything. This is all gonna get deleted. Alright, so this works as is. We just need to plug in some other data. I guess we could go one of two ways. You let me know what you think. One, we could just like hard code some stuff in for demo purposes and like build out the React part of it, and then later on just plug in whatever data we need to that we're getting. Or we could set up some data to pull in and then build it out with the real data incoming. I'll give you all a little bit of time to let me know in the chat what you think. But either way is fine with me. I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's see. This is like old times now. I got the crew from all the free code camp streams back here. All right. Still using Windows? Yeah, I'm using Windows. Michael says, hard code your data. All right, cool. Harshit says, use JSON placeholder. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that could definitely work. The hard code. Yeah, all right, so here's what I think we probably should do. We should pick a UI framework to make it look pretty. I mean, if anybody disagrees with this, let me know. But I say we should just pick a UI framework. We're not going to try to do all our styles like, from scratch. So you just pick a UI framework, set that up and start using it. Build out like a really basic layout, and hard code like some of it just to see what it'll look like. And then at that point, we'd be ready to pull in like real data. We'll get the data ready and then pull that in. So let me know what you think. My go-to for React stuff is usually Material UI. But if there's some other UI framework that's awesome for React that anybody wants to see, let me know. Definitely open to trying out new things. Like I said, I've been using React Native for the last basically since November. So if anything has happened in React land in terms of UI frameworks, I'm a little bit out of the loop. But I'm going to just check out Material UI while waiting. Harsha says, we have used Material UI a lot. Yeah, for sure. Material UI core. The vacuum is running upstairs. If that's bothering anybody, if you can hear it coming through, let me know and I'll stop it. So the kids must have turned it on before they left. Nikki says, was it you that tweeted about the material framework for React Native? Yeah, I did. It looks really awesome. I'm really intrigued by it because it works with React Native Web and with mobile, and there was nothing out there that did that reliably that I saw the last time I checked. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I'm not going to be able to use it like at my job for projects because we have a whole design system already, but on side projects I think it's going to be awesome. I might actually get to make that React Native game I was building look halfway decent. We'll see. Harsha says, can we use smooth UI? Cool, I'll check it out. Let's see. Smooth UI. I've never heard of Smooth UI, but it's a style system UI library for React. It works with styled components or emotion. It is focused on developer experience, productivity. You can focus on what you want to build and set on how to build it. Sounds amazing. Oh, okay, so we're going to use styled components, which I'm down to learn more about styled components. I have not used them for a long time, but let's see. Let's get it installed. So I need smooth. I'm going to copy this, and then I can just type styled components. Oh, I guess it has it all right here. Didn't see that. I'll make this bigger too. Alright. I'm gonna yarn add on those, and let's check out what else we need to set up for this. There's no required setup for Smooth UI. It exposes ready-to-use components. You can use components in your React app. Awesome. I like that. No setup. We just import a button. Import. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Basics. System. Getting started. Okay, so we set prop style component. That looks nice. Oh, what kind of utilities we got? Alright, I gotta stop myself from looking at all the cool stuff here. Let's just check out components and alert box button, checkbox for checking input modal, pop up, radio select, switch, text area, tooltip, typography. I suppose for now we can start out with just throwing in some typography stuff because we do have text on the screen. Right, so that seems like a great place to start. Top level heading each one section. Display. Font family based on native font stack. I don't really want H's for all our country stuff, to be honest. I guess we're not going to use this. I just wanted to see if I had to do anything to do like normal font stuff, but I guess not. Maybe including normalize is strongly recommended. Let's see. Let's forms grid. There we go. Normalize. Okay. Let's do normalize since it was strongly recommended. Pull in this, and it looks like send your code. We don't even wrap anything with normalize. We just throw normalize in. All right. Okay, it's just injecting the CSS stuff. All right, that makes sense. If you're not familiar with what normalize is like there are some things that like the browser just assumes and automatically does in CSS that can mess with your styles if you're not aware of them. So what normalize does is just like gets rid of all that stuff, essentially, so that when you do your styles, they'll behave like you expect them to behave, right? So, like, imagine if, let's just say, for instance, I don't know if this is true, but let's say, for instance, the browser like automatically had a certain amount of padding by default on things, and you didn't realize it. And so, like, you don't want there to be padding, and you don't understand when you put padding 0 why it's not doing padding 0, right? Like that's not a real example of what the browser's doing, but essentially that's like kind of what we're talking about. All right, so I'm gonna put this stuff in our root. So I'm guessing app.js would be our root. I mean, we could check, yeah. Yeah, so everything is getting wrapped in there. So let's put that in here, and pull in normalize, and then normalize. Alright, save that. No errors in the console, that's wonderful. Cool. We can get rid of that submit. We don't need that. Right. So where's that? That's our index. Let's not have the submit. And we have a header component. What the heck is in the header? Oh, that's probably our menu. Yeah, let's keep that for now. We'll change what's in it, but okay, cool. Alright, this is a cool example of the Next.js prefetch, like link prefetch. Like, this will get the data ready for that page before you even click on it, which is awesome. Basically, like, you'll have much nicer load times when you do that. Yeah, so we're definitely going to keep this header because we're going to want all this stuff, so this will save us some time, like, if we actually end up getting some links in here. Uploader. I'm probably going to end up getting rid of some of these. No sense getting rid of them now. We can just leave them in there and maybe pull something that we want out of them. Oh, you know what, too? Let's check what other data we can get while we're in here, because it might be nice just to get an idea when we're laying this out, like what kind of data we want. And where did I put that? There we go. Okay, so we can check out, I guess, the schema again. So on country, get the name, currency, languages. Yeah, this. So I think which one of these would have the most content. None of these really seems like it would have like a paragraph or anything. We could pull in like continent and currency and stuff like that, I guess. How do we do that though? So I'm getting name. Let's fuss this out a little bit. Yeah, I think we could just do it like this. So name, currency, languages. Languages is going to be an array. That's cool. That'll be interesting. I like that it's an array. Emoji. Alright. Let's just try it out, see what we get back. No languages, field languages. Must have a selection of subfields. Okay, let's look at the subfields for languages. So since languages is also a type. Oh, I was thinking it was an array. My bad. Well, it still might be an array because it's languages, but since language is a type, we're also going to end up getting these as well. So I believe we just want name. So in there we can say name. Okay. Cool. Now this should work. Yay, look at that. Alright, so now we're going to get all this data. I wasn't sure what would come back for emoji. It looks like I'm not sure what to do with that. Let's see. Oh, Harshit says, by the way, that GraphQL playground is maintained by us now. Oh, no way. That's sweet. Harshit, how is it going at your new job? I guess it's still new. You've been out there. You've been at the job for a while though now. Let me know how it's going. All right, let's get rid of emoji and just put continent, name, currency, language. Let's see what we get. Whoa, what the heck? Must have a selection of subfields. What? There are subfields for continent? Name. Alright. Oh, you could look up countries by continent. That's wild. That's pretty sweet. Name. There we go. Cool. Alright, now we got some cool data. And we can do more with. I like that. Let's copy and paste this. And now if we start building out the UI a little bit, we'll at least have some data to populate it with. And post list. Okay. Oh, cool. Michael's saying you could do it. So you could say continents, countries, and then that way, like, you would get a list of countries separated out by continent. That would be cool. It's great. Launch preview. Oh, cool. Harshit says it's great. Launch a preview for Prisma 2, and managing stuff related to that. That's awesome. All right, cool. Let's throw in like below the span here. We'll just put in I don't even remember what we got now. Name, currency. Yeah, let's throw in currency. Oops. Host.currency. Oops. Alright, we can see that we are getting that. Cool, so now it's displaying that there. Yeah, not really styled at all. But you get the point. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but like when we click here, there's no page refresh. Alright, so this is all like client-side routing. But it also, if a search engine were to go here, it would be able to see this stuff, right? Because we're server-side rendering this as well. But then once we start in with the client-side stuff, it's instantaneous, right? That is the benefit of Next.js and being able to very easily do routing on server and client side. Or I should say rendering. Okay, so how do we want this to look? I mean, essentially, I think the project's going to end up being somewhat like a blog page. So I suppose we'll want maybe like a list of all of our posts, like with titles, maybe a small preview underneath, and then a link to click to take you to a full page, right? Images would be nice too, so maybe like some image up there. For right now, what we could do is just say like country name would then be the title, and then we can just throw in whatever data we want below to be a placeholder for what's going to be there. And then we can put in a link there with just basically like a link to nowhere for now. And I'm interested to see how Next.js is recommending doing the parameterized routing. The last time I used Next.js, you couldn't really do that through Next. You had to kind of like bail out and make your own server.js file to do it. It looked like when we were going through the docs that there's a way to do that now in Next. So if that's the case, that's awesome, and we'll try that out. Otherwise, we'll pull in a little bit of like server-side node to handle the routing. Okay, let's see. Harsha says, might go off in a bit. It's past midnight now. It's 1:36 a.m. Oh, yeah, dude, I totally understand. Like, you got to go to sleep. That's cool. I'm really glad that you stopped in for the stream. It was nice seeing you. Okay. All right, so let's check out. Let's get rid of some of the stuff first of all. This is like too much stuff here. I'll get rid of the Apollo docs. They're easy enough to get to if I need them later. What's this? Yeah, let's get rid of that. That. Yeah, let's get rid of this and this. And that. And that. Okay, so we have smooth UI here, and I was really kind of looking for, I don't know, some type of component. Let's see this box component. Okay, so it's like legit just a box. Okay. Button checkbox, form check. Oh, it's a checkbox. Alright. Input mode will pop up radius, like switch text. I guess we're gonna use the box to contain our content. And is this nested? Okay. All right. So they essentially it looks like their whole layout is done with boxes. They did have some sort of grid system though, I believe. Yeah. Let's check out their grid. Okay, so it's based on like Bootstrap grid. All right, so we can do grids, rows, columns within there. All right, that makes sense. A full width container. I like that. We'll probably use. All right, nice. We can have breakpoints built in. See how that's working out. Setting one column of variable width, responsive classes. Yeah, I want to see how they use it. Okay. All right. That's actually not that different than Material UI's column stuff was. So not too bad. All right, cool. Nikki says, "Oh, great, having flashbacks to that mess of code I wrote for that parameterized routing." That was good. Like it got the job done. Like, and the only reason it was messy is because there were just so many routes and like weirdness with the routes. Oh, Nikki said it would be way cleaner now if you could just use the question mark dot syntax that just hit stage 3. I am unaware of this syntax, but I think I should know about it. What is this syntax you're talking about? Alright, so let's throw in a little grid here. And what do all these things mean? Oh, cool. That automatically copies it. Maximize, refresh, close editor. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, let's throw in a little grid. And yeah, 3 columns looks acceptable. Looks okay. Actually, this one looks more like maybe what we want. Or something like that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so ours says it's called optional chaining. Alright, I'll have to check this out. Alright, let's throw in some of these grids and see how they look. Alright, so we don't really want it here. We want to put this in our index file. So our header, I think we want to keep out of this whole grid system. We want that to be like full width. But let's throw it in here, and we're going to put our post list inside here. And then let's just get rid of this one. And then we're going to need to import grid row and column from, and this is smooth UI. Yep, there we go. All right, let's see how it looks. All right, cool. Decent, not like spectacular. It looks like maybe if I had these like center, it basically looks off center, but I think maybe it's because all this stuff is left aligned right now, so it's throwing it off. Okay, so more about this optional chaining stuff. Nikki says in a nested object you can write foo bar like foo.bar.baz. If bar doesn't even exist, it errors normally. If you write foo !bar.baz, it will check if bar exists first. That Nikki said, oh sorry, it checks if the thing in front of the question mark exists first. That's amazing. Oh my goodness, that's like, how many times have we written in checks for that kind of thing and had a mess of stuff, like just checking to make sure, like, does this even exist? before we look for the next, like the next key in the object. That's really cool. All right. Oh, Michael Creel says he found the ANSI one from your GraphQL API search might be something better if you're looking for something bloggy. Oh, okay. Maybe I have to check that out. Did I close that window? No, I think I have it open somewhere. Do I? Paper documentation. No, I think I did close it. It's not up. It's not open on my other screen. Just joined in. What are you building? Bean says just joined in. What are we building? Jesse and the team. Basically, we're just building out basic React app with Next.js and Apollo and grabbing some GraphQL data. Yeah, so I'm doing this because I'm going to give a workshop on this, and I just wanted to do like a run through with no prep to just see where basically all the parts where I would get messed up at, and like get that out of the way now so I can go back and watch it and make some notes and stuff like that. All right, not bad. Not bad. We can first list. We could probably make these spans do what we want if we set display block on those. I guess not. I thought it would make them go on to the next. But you know what is... We're already setting flex on there. I wonder if we can... let's see. So the div is already display flex. So we could say flex 1. Is that it? Flex grow. I think flex 1 is shorthand for like flex grow 1. Guess not. Oh, I could just change the flex direction. What the heck am I thinking? Okay. Flex direction on browser by default is row. If we just change it to column, then that should stack things up. Awesome. There we go. So, all right, now we have more of a list. I'm so used to React Native where the flex direction is reversed. So it wasn't hitting me yet. I'm like, why is this not stacking? Michael says, I might check out here and there because I'm watching some people I know in the U.S. track and field champs. I've still got you on a smaller screen and an earbud. Awesome. All right, cool. All right, so I guess you can kind of see how this would start to look here, where we would have like a blog setup. It still doesn't look like we don't have enough content really to make it look like it really could or would look. with the blog stuff, but it's like a decent representation, I suppose. I wonder, I guess the issue I would have in the workshop, since like how we got here, is basically like the way we got here to this point was we loaded up this like bootstrapped version of Next.js that had Apollo built in, and then we just deleted a bunch of stuff. So it seems like really hacky to do it like that. So maybe I'll consider, I don't know, like I don't know, just trying to figure out how this works. I don't know. It does save a ton of time though to just do it like this and get the bootstrap version, and then just saying like, hey, um, if you wanted to do this, you just need to add these files, right, to like an existing project or something. Okay. All right. I can actually get rid of these 1 of 3 and 3 of 3 because they don't look like anything like what I mean, there's probably realistically not even going to be anything on the sides. Maybe some list of categories. I don't know. But for now, let's go. Let me grab. I'm gonna go back to here for a second and just see like if I can pull in some data. I was just really hoping they would have a demo I could bring stuff in for. Test database. All right. Don't really want to run this locally. You know what though? I don't really have a guarantee of internet connectivity at this conference, or a guarantee that it'll be that good, right? I wonder if I should plan on being able to run, like as a backup, being able to run this locally. I mean, that's definitely much more involved. Rather not do that, but it's better than, the internet being terrible and just not being able to do anything. You know what? Let me get my GitHub. I'm pretty sure I have the URL for a test WordPress GraphQL thing running there. Let's see, my repositories. What's it called? Let's just search for WP. WP. There we go. Thought I had a demo. Sweet. This is insane. I already used all this stuff before, like a year ago, and I totally forgot all of it. Like, look, this is everything we needed to set this up. It's amazing how much stuff you forget, you know? Alright, let's see if this still works. Could probably go to this playground here. And you know what I like about this playground? Whoops. I don't want that. It has a dark theme. I like that. Uh-oh. Server cannot be reached. Might be down. Probably down. Oh well, it was worth a shot. Let's see. I'm gonna try to go to it. Oh, no way. Okay. So I ended up using this for a client site. Or, you know what I did? No, it's not, because I had this on a, that was like the base URL used for a client site. This was the first React site I ever built, like a legit site that I got paid for. So I thought it was nice. Alright, let's try this one. Oh, cool. The data's still there, just for whatever reason the GraphQL endpoint isn't working. Alright, nice. This one always made me so hungry when I used it. Alright, so we should be able to pull in like titles, categories, author, date, images, content. So this would be cool if I can connect to this, if it'll work. Let's see. Oh, Nikki says WP GraphQL author Jason Ball works for Gatsby now. That's awesome. Like he's actually been on the one of our live streams, the Free Code Camp live streams before, probably more than one. Working with it like back when we used WP GraphQL a lot, like last year. Good for him. That's awesome. It looks like the project just really took off. I'm excited about it. I don't really mess with WordPress anymore, but like I think it's great. Let's see if I can log into this. Let's see if it works. No way. That's amazing. Sweet. There are probably 5 billion updates. No way. Hey, SiteGround's auto updates are amazing. I haven't even logged into this site in a year, at least, and everything's up to date. Nice. Now it looks like, see, optimizer. Yeah, sure. Let's update you too. It looks like I'm on a very, very old version of GraphQL API. So let's just update our version and see what happens, if we can get some data out of this and if it'll work. I need to go, let's go back up here and see what version we're on. 0.3.4. Source code zip. You know what? I wonder if this is available in the App Store now. It used to be, I think you had to like actually load this, but let's see if we can just get it right through here. What did I say? I don't mean the App Store. I mean like the plugin store. No plugins found. All right then. Let's just download it then. We want the zip file. And now we just upload the plugin. Where we at? WP GraphQL, open, install it, activate, and let's deactivate and delete the old one. Now let's see what we can get. And I'm assuming that the endpoint's still the same. Let's just double check that. It is yoursite.com/GraphQL. Yep, it's still the same. Let's see what we can get. Refresh that, maybe. Failed to fetch schema. Please check your connection. Alright, so I'm not getting the schema. Don't like that. Let's see. Nikki says, gotta go, going to sleep. Hey, see you later. Thanks for coming on the stream. It was nice to talk to you again. Oh, no wonder it didn't work. There we go. What's HTTPS S1 demo system GraphQL? Alright, it's just not working. Why is it not working? Guess I could check it in here. Oh, because it's supposed to be just GraphQL. Alright, well, something's wrong with this. And I don't know what. Oh. Pretty permalinks enabled. The permalink thing. I forgot about that. Ugh. The WordPress documentation is not my favorite. Alright, but let's see if we can switch these up. Permalinks. Alright. Alright, let's see. It used to be that was okay, and that worked. Let's see what we got now. Looks like still nothing. It's also possible I have some like custom stuff going on here that I don't know about or that I've forgotten about. But I doubt that. Let me go back to my plugins. I don't think I installed anything weird. Classic Jetpack. No, I didn't. Hmm. Well, that's too bad. Hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, this was the, yeah. This one just go to constant. I'm just gonna like copy and paste this one more time just to make sure I didn't accidentally introduce a typo into here. Try it here. I'll try it in this one. I don't think it's gonna make a difference, but worth a shot. Nope, still messed up. Oh, hey, we got something here. We got a schema. That's more than we had before. That's interesting. Yeah, this is definitely the right schema. See posts. Oops. ID. Let's see. ID post by post. I don't know what any of the IDs are. Um, Actually, why don't I just look at what I used here and try to use the same one. Components, see if I have it in here. No, definitely not there. Let's go with pages. That's pretty simple. All right, let's try this one. I don't know if the schema has changed. I mean, probably. Post. It looks like it has. Yeah, it definitely looks like it has. I mean, it's worth a shot though. What? It worked? No way. Sweet. Alright, cool. We can use this. Oh, Michael had to leave too. He says, I'm out. Thanks for getting me back in the mood to work again, and you need to do another tomorrow. I'll try to do another soon. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, but I'm glad that I helped you get in the mood to work. All right, sweet. We got these posts. Nice. All right, let's throw this into our app now. So I grab the URI, let's put it in there and save that, and then now we just broke everything. So let's change our query and we'll run with this query, and oops, going the wrong place. Let's use this query instead. Now we have post edges node. So you do need to go down a bit. So let's do. How do we get that data back? Let me check check how that looked. All right, yeah, data comes back like that. Then we have posts. All right. I could see how I handled it completely in here. Like, what did I do? Post query results. Okay, and then I did say, there we go. I thought I did something like that to make it a lot nicer. So we can say, we can do that, and could basically just say, yeah, I guess the way I have this, well, I could say post. Nah, I don't want that because it's just, there we go. That'll work. And then now we could say posts, post.map, and now post makes more sense. And then inside this, I can say, I don't remember what we got back. Posts node slug, post node title. This could be post node title and then post node content. I think we have an ID here, so we could use this ID. Or do I need to say node for everything? Where's this at? Yeah, everything's in that node. I don't get the structure, but must have been some reason why they make it like that. I don't need the index anymore. Let's just get rid of that. Post node title, and let's say, now this is going to look weird because it has HTML and stuff in there, but we'll just see what it looks like for now. Sweet. Alright, so we got the title and all the content in here. Very nice. Obviously, definitely could use some styling, but not bad. Wow, that's not bad at all. So, really, if we go back to our original description for this workshop, let's just like review for a second and see if we skipped anything, we left anything like out that was really in here. So the top abstract, this is probably what people are gonna see. Actually, let's just say Atlantic Mid-Atlantic Developer Conference. Let's see what people are expecting from this. Okay, so our schedule is. There we go. All right, so here is what people say. All right, so it's basically everything I put in there. So here's the outline for what's going to happen. Intro to React, set up dev environment, bootstrap React app using Next.js. All right, so we did that. Set up Apollo, did that. And these actually are going to be like combined into one step if we do that other one. Create custom parameterized routes. All right, so we didn't do this yet, so I have to double check that. But if Next.js has a better way to do this now, then I think it's legit to say like, hey, there's a new way to do this and it's easier, and we could just use Next.js. We definitely fetch data with the query component, deploy app using now. We didn't do that, but that's super simple, and I've definitely done that before many times. Explain steps to further improve apps with styling, SEO optimization, advanced routing. Okay, cool. So I did not say that we would actually style or do any advanced stuff like that, complex queries. So that's pretty sweet. And did I say? I don't believe I specifically said that we would go in detail about the WordPress setup. So that's pretty sweet. So it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, not bad. So it took us 2 hours and 35 minutes to get to this point. So I think if I could do this with no prep at all in 2 hours and 35 minutes while talking and going like on a bunch of sidetracks, then I think it's definitely doable for a workshop to be able to do this, have some breaks, be able to help people out and answer questions. So I don't know. I'm feeling good about this. I definitely need. I will need to add in a little bit extra time for this type of thing. Yeah. I do say up here that we would learn how to set up headless WordPress, but realistically, like, all we did was install a plugin, right? So I don't necessarily think it's necessary to actually set up WordPress from scratch. There's like 5 billion tutorials on that, and most servers let you do it with one-click install. So I think that's fine. I'll probably talk a little bit about how you would want to do this. Maybe like ways you could host WordPress, potentially. That might not be a bad idea. Okay, all right, I'm going to have to talk about how to use like Google Cloud SQL and cloud storage for media files. So, I'm going to have to go back maybe and watch some of those old live streams where we set that up the first time, just to give me a refresher and take some notes on that. Oh, and I do say and use now to serve the React app and WordPress. I might change that up though. You can use now to serve WordPress, but there might be a better way to serve WordPress. Like, I think we ended up not even doing this and going with Google Cloud to do all our WordPress stuff. I believe that's what we went with. So, okay. Not bad. I think it's decent. All right, cool. So, not that many people still hanging in here. Been streaming for a long time. Kind of a weird time on a Saturday. Not my usual, but thanks so much for watching, for hanging out. If you're still there, and yeah, I'd like to stream soon, at some point, and get back on some projects. Been doing a lot of cool stuff. Definitely want to share with you. Um, I'm gonna be. There were some issues with Free Code Camp's streaming, with like copyright stuff with their music channel. So the music channel is back up and running, but not on YouTube. But basically, like it'll be a little bit longer before we can get streaming back up and running on YouTube. So I'm gonna have to do the streams on my channel. So, watch out for that. If you want notifications, subscribe. I'll still post on Twitter and Instagram whenever I'm gonna do my streaming. And I started posting on LinkedIn, but I forgot to today. I don't know how many people are on LinkedIn and watch that. But anyway, this is a little bit of a mess with some of the technical difficulties, but I hope y'all got something out of this at least. I had a good time. I appreciate all your contributions, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks.